His name is Nathaniel. Name of the song is 24/7, playing here on the Rhythm Driven Drive 96.6 FM Spirit. Imagine it's just 20 minutes to the top of the hour, and today on Talk on the Drive, I want to talk about something that started last year, something that became visible last year. It didn't start last year, it just became visible last year. And it's something that the medical doctors made me understand, and I noticed and paid attention to it from them last year. And that thing is deplatforming. So the COVID-19 pandemic struck, and it struck real hard, and there were a lot of questions of the validity of things like lockdowns, the validity of things like, quarantining even the healthy. And, anybody medical field who came out and tried to talk about COVID-19 that was not World Health Organization endorsed, or UN endorsed, or Bill Gates Foundation endorsed, or United States government endorsed, especially, the factions that subscribe to people like Dr. Fauci, they were being deplatformed. They were being taken off the internet. Their videos. Last year we saw the aggressiveness of the big tech. I'm talking about Facebook, Twitter. I'm not too sure about Instagram, but also YouTube. We saw the aggression towards the people who are on the platform. Now, most times we join these platforms and we think, oh, this is the one place that is safe, freedom of expression, freedom of speech. Well, there's a lot of craziness that happened last year. It opened my eyes to that. And over the weekend, we saw deplatforming of NRM, leaning accounts. And for me, many people, like today, this morning, one of my colleagues was talking to me, and he asked me, what do you have to say about this? And I said, I think I need to address this on the drive. I'll tell you this, guys. We are going into an age where you are either one with the system, or the system will turn against you. Let me repeat that. We're going into an age where you are either one with the system, or the system will turn against you. It's either you're LGBTQ pro, or you are against it. It's either you're feminism pro, or you're against it. You've got to choose to be on the side of the system. Now, these platforms you may think are there for you. You're there to have a good time. But towards the beginning of the lockdown, when I lost my phone, many people have always asked, why have you never replaced your smartphone? I kind of got comfortable with my button phone, and it's not that the resources were not there and the opportunities were not there to replace the phone. It's just that I kept, whenever I had to choose whether to do a particular thing or buy a smartphone, I thought, well, let me do this other thing. I'll get a smartphone when the resources are balanced out. And even when the resources have gotten balanced out, I have gotten excuses still. And for me, it comes from a point where there's a lot of conditioning that is, on social media. First of all, we think we want validation. We want validation from people. We want people to like our posts. We want people to share our posts. We want people to, and if they don't, we think we are less likable. We think we are less important. We feel all sorts of foolishness that has been conditioned at us. And also, when we have a cause and we want to, start a conversation, the best place to start the conversation today happens to be social media. Back in the day, you would get a few of your real actual friends, not Facebook friends, real actual friends around, and find a way to get the project going. I'm not saying social media is bad entirely, but I'm just trying to let you know that with Donald Trump being deplatformed, because that's exactly what it is. Let me tell you what deplatforming is. According to the mighty Wikipedia, deplatforming, also known as no platforming, it's a form of political activism, and also happens to be a prior restraint by an individual or group, someone here puts in brackets, big tech or organization, with the goal to shut down a certain type of conversation which is against a particular bias. And that's exactly what's being done right now. So I'll tell you this. Many of you might be very excited, for example, because now for us here who are in Uganda, I mean, embodies a Donald Trump as it quarter. That's the truth. That's why, I this morning I was listening and I kept asking myself, King, you really got the platform for Donald Trump, not Museveni? beg to differ, man. But I feel like it's a time where we need to start thinking of alternatives, especially as an African people. And that conversation has been sidelined for a while. We need to start thinking of alternatives as Christians, because believe you me, they are coming for us. Whether you like it or not, these guys are actually coming for you, and they're coming for me. Especially if you're a Christian and unashamed online, you're going to have issues with their platform, especially if you've got to stand up for what is right. If they say divorce, if the Bible says divorce is evil and God does not condone it, and he also does not condone if you're divorced for the reasons that are stated there. If he does not say go right ahead and get married, it's not written anywhere in the Bible. I'm not trying to preach so loudly, I'm just trying to say it's not there in the Bible. And if you're going to be having those kinds of opinions, social media is yet to be a place for you to avoid. So as we even get closer to the elections, I know most times you'll say, oh, the government is going to shut down the internet, but I want you to pay attention to the deplatforming. The members of the NUP were super excited over the weekend with the whole deplatforming of NRM. And of course, I've never been excited to hear Ghetto TV has been put down, because at the end of the day, man, we can't fight ourselves. It never makes sense and it never ends well. But for me, my big question, and a question I want to pose to you people who are very excited about the deplatforming of certain bigwigs who are leaning into the yellow color, my question is, what excites you more? That you actually have a dragon that is backing your mission? Because that's exactly what it kind of feels like right now. Or that maybe you got even because certain platforms are being taken down and hacked. Or maybe there was a breach in your system, but you were not seeing it, and that's what the NRM people, who, if they were the ones in charge and responsible for taking down of the platforms, we don't know. But I feel like deplatforming is something we should be very careful about. Many medical doctors will tell you. I was having a talk with one during the lockdown, and he told me one of the things that he's come to realize during COVID is that the medical opinion never really mattered. And for them, on social media, there was total blackout. And even if you tried to post something in that regard, there was total blackout. So I'm just getting you to prepare yourself, because the days we're going into, I know most times you think because UCC is regulating radio hard, I'm going to go online. You're about to get the rude awakening. You know that saying, better the devil you know than the angel you do not see? That right there is exactly what defines us right now. Thank you for listening. And be careful how attached you are to social media, because if there comes a time when you need to get off social media, you need to be ready. So go back to making real friendships, real partnerships.
96.6 Spirit FM. Music for life.